I'm not sure. I know. I remember you mentioning something on the fantasy grounds about changing to milestones. At least when it happens on your end, it won't continually reverb through me. So we are leveling up again. So we are leveling up again. Okay. It actually was Fantasy Grounds. Yeah, it's something with the module activation. As soon as I loaded in the player's handbook, it just started, woo, I'm gonna slow down. Okay. Uh, yeah, I believe I know how. Give me one moment. I'm gonna shut down the stream so I don't show off your IP. Change different thing first. Alright. Think I'm good now. Alright. It's all good. Yeah, I'm good. Oh, yeah, I was gonna mention that. I'm having some technical difficulties myself. I just realized that Discord is not sending any audio to the stream. It is not, so none of that conversation was heard by the stream.
Why the hell didn't Steam update it for me automatically?
It doesn't update automatically. I gotta press the button on the launcher. But it's again
Okay.
likely only. Well, okay. You can quit out and fix it, but usually you only have to if you like start having issues.
Yeah.
One version's usually not a big deal. In any case, let's see. Okay.
Well, now that I've actually loaded into the server with the new IP, I should be able to instantly reconnect to it.
Oh, is this on Fantasy Grounds?
Yeah, it says perform file maintenance.
Yeah.
I'm going to say no since my character is stored. Since my character is stored on your end anyway.
Yeah, it shouldn't be an issue for you at all.
Yeah.
Just to summarize quick, when last we left off, you had all journeyed into the depths of the Hanging Gardens of Nangalore to seek out the Black Orchid. There you had finally confronted the last, not the last, but the second to last queen of Omu, Zelkore, who would become a terrible Medusa due to a curse, and had driven herself apparently quite mad to the use of hallucinogenic plants that she grew in the Hanging Gardens. After some discussion and a narrow avoidance of a peaceful resolution, you were able to defeat her and put her out of her obvious misery. But not at a light price for the tabaxi who had recently joined your party, known as Shine, had found herself turned into a statue, and you with little way to restore her form, at least immediately before you.
And
you suspect that. Oh yeah, and Azara too.
Or
Thank you.
I mean.
Azaka, yeah. Azaka is also petrified. So now you find yourself with an interesting problem. You suspect that if you're able to return to Kir Sabal, that the monks there will be able to restore your compatriots. But also, they're two people-sized statues, and you're in the middle of the jungle.
Sweet! I have third-level spells now.
Mm-hmm.
If I remember correctly,
high five, me too.
Didn't you say there might be scrolls we could use? So if someone went to Kir Sabal and then got scrolls and then came back, we could do it that way, or am I misremembering?
That could potentially be an option, but you don't know for certain whether they have those scrolls. They probably do, but it's not like 100% chance. Nor is just walking there. So I guess that is also an option. It kind of just depends if you want to camp out here or if you want to try to transport the statues.
Well, if we try and move them at all, there's definitely the chance that something happens and they break. I don't think we want to take that chance.
Whoa! So, just a quick question. What do y'all think about me taking the spell Life Transference?
It's all right, but it's really like it shines when you're a life cleric. But it's
Story.
yeah, if you have a lot of hit points to spare, it's not bad. It's I think average of 18. You take 18 hit points and they get back 36.
It'd be kind of cool to have two clerics who could do that and just bounce each other's health up all the time.
Hacks.
just lay on hands forever.
Nothing wrong with loopholes.
I mean, that's a lot of burst healing, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's not really an exploit because it still costs spell slots, so it's fine. It's just fun.
Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm just imagining high level, just using like the high level slots to do it. But yeah.
Oh, hello. Revivify is amazing.
Yes, but it does not work.
Oh, that's right. That's right. No,
It is quite good. Also note the material component, which is a limiting factor.
oh,
Wait.
300 gold pieces worth of diamonds. Ugh. Excuse
You
me.
don't need them. But wait, technically, would that mean that would I have to be revived?
No, you're not dead,
This
thankfully.
spell? Okay.
That is not covered in the death curse,
Okay.
fortunately.
Excuse
So I
me.
was kind of liking this whole Archer thing. So
Yeah.
So I do actually have a solution to our petrification problem without having to send someone ahead. Bahamut can bestow upon me the spell of sending.
That's a good point. That's a very good point. Sorry, other players can interject.
so what does that do?
Hey, you're not
It-
there. It's
Yeah,
fine.
you're
though.
stoned.
Asking a character out,
Okay.
asking out a character question's fine too, though.
It allows me to
Bounce
communicate.
your ideas off of my statue.
Yeah.
I'm the ultimate
Nice.
soundboard.
Yeah, Hux isn't really paying attention because they are still going through bit by bit the body of the queen and trying just to see if anything they have can undo the petrification.
You're
Now-
just like smearing random things on pieces of the
Is
statue.
petrification considered to be a curse or no?
No, remove curse does not work on it if that's what you're thinking.
Yeah.
The
so-
greater restoration or stone
You
of
read that.
flesh are the things that work on it. And greater restoration is a 5th level spell.
There it is. Excuse me.
But you do know you've met the Aarakocra from Kir Sabal, so you could almost certainly send ascending. And that would probably be considerably faster.
Out of character though, kind of write out what you're going to say because that 25 word limit can be annoying.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Help me, Obi-Wan. You're my only.
Well, if no one else is opposed, magical message seems to be the fastest way to try and get anything done.
Yes? What's happening? I'm the DM.
I don't know.
Everybody just kind of got quiet for a minute.
I spoke in character and no one responded.
Shy
Sorry.
responds in character.
I'm conferring with Bahamut.
Does shit respond in kind?
Equally true.
Kind of rhymes, not really.
What? Did we lose someone?
And they're back.
Hooray.
Na-na-na-na.
So is that the plan then?
Unless anyone's opposed, that's my vote for the plan.
Sorry, I stepped away for just a second. What was the idea?
Using the power of Bahamut to use sending to get a message to Kir
Oh, to get them
Sabal,
to
and
actually
maybe
get them to come
bring
to us.
something to us.
Yeah. I say we try it, but we shouldn't be surprised if they refuse also.
The sound of silence plays in the background.
What's that?
So the sound of silence just plays in the background. I don't know. It's just like what I pictured for the good 2 minutes that nobody said anything. Just darkness, my old friend.
All right. Is that what you're doing, Balasar?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take sending, and I think I'm going to take tongues for right now.
Some good utility spells.
Yeah. I'm not going to lie. Mass healing word did look tempting.
Pretty good.
Although I should probably take a look and see what...
Well, your domain spells. You also get Dispel Magic and Magic Circle for free.
Oh, fantastic. Where did you find that?
It's under, you can click on your abilities tab. Here, I added those to your sheet though.
No, I appreciate it. Okay.
Click the red dragon head next to anything. I'll give you the data. Okay. So what kind of message are you sending?
Of 25 words.
Yeah. And they do get to reply. And which, what Aarakocra, or who are you sending it to at Kir Sabal? Also an important question.
Trying to remember
Who you tweeting
specifically
at?
who was going to perform the ritual for us.
The leader was named Ashara.
Ashara. All right, so Balazar, in more elegant words than I can come up with at the moment, informs the party that he has the ability to send a brief message back to Kir Sabal. what should I include in this message?
You said. So do you tell us that you're limited in number of words you can send?
I say brief. I don't specifically reveal the actual limitation.
Gotta keep the
Sure.
mystique.
I would basically say 2 petrified, obtained Black Lotus. Can you send help? And
In
oh,
Nangalore.
and then say Hanging Gardens of Nangalore.
Yep, I can fit all that in.
Right, like just pertinent details, whatever you can fit in, basically, is what I would suggest.
I don't remember if the spell itself actually identifies who's sending it. So
I mean, they hear your voice.
well, I'm still
Okay,
going
yeah,
to
she might recognize.
yeah, I'm still going to re-identify myself at the beginning of that because I still have enough words. So my exact phrase is, "This is Telesian Balasar. Two members petrified. Black Lotus, or was it Lotus?
Orchid.
Black Orchid. Black Orchid
Oh,
acquired.
sorry.
Yeah, Black Orchid acquired. Hanging Gardens of what again?
Nangalore.
Nangalore. Yeah. So Hanging Gardens of Nangalore, please send help. And if I am counting correctly, that's 19 words.
Yep.
Yeah, I would even say like, can you send help? Explicitly ask for it.
Well, I think it was please send help.
All right, sure, yeah, all right.
And that particular spell takes me. Wow, not very long to send. Oh, it's got a material component of a short piece of fine copper wire, though. That's not good. Because I'm not sure if that's something that we already have.
Do I have anything in my inventory that can help?
I think you can use your holy symbol
Yeah.
as a replacement for any material component that doesn't cost gold.
That's what I was about to say.
Oh,
Yeah,
fantastic.
you just need your holy symbol for.
All right, so then, yeah, then Balasar kneels in prayer to Bahamut, requesting his favor to deliver his message, and channels it through his shield.
Let's see.
Do you want me to write down the message so that you know exactly what I said again?
No, it's okay. I got
Okay.
it. I'm just trying to determine how she responds, suddenly hearing Belstar's voice in her mind, and then. I'll do this.
Oh, we saw that roll, by the way.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm just letting you know. Like, normally we can't see anything that you roll.
Yeah, I forgot I had that turned off.
No, don't turn it back on. It sounds hilarious.
Oh, wow. Magic
What is
Circle.
that 15?
Really good.
If you have cleansed that place of its evil, then we shall do what we can to aid you. Build a fire, we will follow the smoke.
When Balasar receives the message, clearly not having used this type of magic before, it is very disconcerting to him. He appears physically altered by this, like he's dizzy almost. We need to build a fire. And we also need to make sure that there is nothing left tainting this place.
So, should we sweep first, or build the fire first?
I would suggest we do both to save time, because I imagine it will not take them terribly long to get here by the air.
Hux just starts going to collect firewood.
Excellent. The rest of us, let's go sweep.
Sounds all right to me.
I think we should head through this door on the side there and check out the other half of the area.
Can you show me on the map what you're talking about? Do you mean the other, like, the ruined pagoda, or the crumbling pagoda on the other side? To the west?
Yeah, pretty much. Like,
Okay.
Fennec goes and opens up the doors and stands on the
Oh,
stairs.
yeah. Yeah, you can see the flooded garden there with its innumerable petrified animals just a couple feet beneath the water. And then unpetrified animals. And it's all still quite calm and lovely in this kind of area just outside of the place where you fought a terse battle just moments before.
How deep is the water? Am I able to tell that?
It's a little complicated, but it's not very deep. I mean, it's difficult terrain, but it's not, you don't have to swim. It'd probably go up to like Fennec's knees.
Okay.
But it's kind of awkward to walk on since the bottom of it is just, piled up statues of various sizes that have fallen in whatever
Hey,
position.
RB.
Okay. Well then, Fennec's gonna start making his way to the other ruined building across this water area.
Cool.
Val starts traveling with him.
Is anyone staying behind to watch
I imagine it's not that difficult to get firewood nearby, so Hux is doing that. Is that the case, JP?
Oh yeah, it's not difficult to find firewood here. Not terribly at all.
So I'm staying as close as possible to Shine.
It depends. Well, you'd have to actually leave like the garden probably, unless you wanted to. There's probably some outside, but you could also use
Watch
the
it
stuff.
stay while you do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the wooden stuff. That's
You can also use the stuff that's in the room.
Yeah.
Is what I'm about to observe.
I'll open, like, what are in the barrels and boxes?
Yeah, a lot of it is is empty and or filled with stuff that is clearly long since degraded in quality to the point of being useless.
All right, that looks like some nice dry wood that's going to start a really nice fire.
Yeah, if you smash the stuff in there and just kind of pile it up, that should be pretty easy and straightforward. What are the people outside looking at the water doing? Sorry, I lost track of that for a sec.
Just starting to cross to the other tower.
Oh, yeah.
I'd recommend putting the fire there, where I just put that box.
Cool. All right. You can cross the other side, wading through the water. Is Balsar going with too?
Yes.
You can see that.
Since
Mhm.
I'd like to go with as well, assuming that that Shine and Azaka can be watched after by
Kawasha and Hux.
Hux. Yeah.
Yep, sounds good. All right, and Bran will, fly out over the water, I assume.
Oh yeah.
The crumbling pagoda on the other side must have been lovely once. It had, with its wide, graceful arches, inviting the breeze to blow through and overlooking the silent pool below. But time, decay, and the bestial presence of Zelkore have given it a sinister air. As you get closer, it smells foul, and you can see dark stains covering the floor and seeping down the white steps.
Let's see.
Balasar actually steps in front of Fennec for a moment. One moment. And he casts his senses outward and tries to detect magic.
One sec.
Excuse me.
You do sense that there's a light aura of abjuration magic coming from inside the room.
Arm
But it's
yourself.
not like covering the whole thing. It just seems like there's something in there giving off a light aura.
Balasar says, it turns to Fennec and says, arm yourself. I sense something in that room.
Fennec draws his longsword and shield out. I want to do an investigation check on the black fluid on the stains on the floor around the stairs.
Dried blood, but whether it's animal, human, or otherwise, you can't quite tell.
I'm surprised I could tell that.
It's pretty obvious.
Alright, so Fennec will make his way up the stairs and into the building.
I'm going to maintain the concentration on my detect magic for the moment.
Fantastic. The room inside is filthy. There's gnawed bones strewed everywhere, and the floor is thick with what looks like bird droppings. You don't see anything moving inside. You can still sense that faint aura of abjuration magic, Balasar, but you're not quite sure where exactly it's coming from.
Abjuration would suggest... Oh, no, because invisibility would be illusion.
Typically, yeah.
There's something here, but I can't place it. Balasar begins looking around the room. I should say he begins like searching around, trying to find the source of the glow.
It doesn't take you... Oops. Sorry, I just gotta move you for a sec, Fennec.
Oh, okay.
There we go. It doesn't take you long to search through the refuse, and you begin to find some baubles kind of hidden among them. The first thing you find is...
A lot of dice being rolled.
Yep. That's how I do. Believe it is, let's see, a pouch with several different gemstones in it. I'm adding this stuff to the party inventory as we go. Is it identified? Good. One blue, looks to be a sort of azure kind of quartz, transparent pale blue. One gemstone that is a translucent circles of gray, white, brown, blue, and green. Kind of looks like an eye. Another gemstone of opaque gray-black. Two kind of patterned light and dark blue with yellow flecks. And one that's a translucent kind of pinkish color with like green spots. Also sorry, there's one more. Translucent brown with a golden center. It also looks a bit like an eye, but more like a cat's eye. And you also find a painted gold bracelet that's shaped like a quaddle. And you find a wooden scroll tube finally, and that is what is exhibiting the aura of abjuration magic. The scroll tube itself is engraved with skeletons who are kind of just standing there in various poses.
You added a scroll, not a scroll tube, in case you were curious.
Yeah, there's a scroll in the scroll tube.
Oh, I didn't see the tube.
I'm just describing what the tube the scroll's in looks like. I think, don't you just know what scrolls are? Hold on, I'll look that up. You can carry on.
After a cursory look into the bag of gemstones, he offers it to Fennec. Here, this will help with our further adventuring.
All right. Fennec will take the gems and put it into his pouch.
And then he pulls out the scroll tube. This has something on it or within it. Now, after further observation, can I determine if it's the scroll, the tube, or both that's magical?
Oh, it's definitely the scroll. But it's not a spell scroll. If it was, you'd probably be able to read it.
Can I use my knowledge of Arcana to try to
you'd need to take more time.
all right, this is
i.e. like a short
then.
rest. Yeah.
Yeah, this is not a now problem then. Balasar says, "I will study this when we have time," and he slips it into his pack. By the way, you added the scroll, but I don't see the tube, in case that matters.
It's the same item. The tube's just decorative. And protective. Like physically, like, you know.
I do not believe there is anything else to discover here.
Oh, was there any place else for us to look?
Fennec will start heading towards the other opening. Still this way.
Yeah, thanks. I can't see the map, so I'm just kind of.
Oh, right.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to describe things as you guys go. They're in the northwest Pagoda now, and now you guys are headed
South.
where? South? All right. You can see that most of that area is pretty empty. Well, not empty. There's stuff there, but not stuff you haven't already seen. There's no enemies or anything, you're pretty sure.
Fennec,
There
perhaps
is...
we should check the large building.
You guys did check the large building already.
Oh, did we? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
The only places you haven't really checked are these kind of two areas in the the upper southern areas. So you can kind of see to the south, far to the south, all the way at the other end of the garden. From where you are, you can see that there are
Is
that
that
kind of-
webbing covering that statue?
Yes, you can see that it is wrapped and draped with thick webs. And it's actually like a dome with a statue on top of it. Or it's like a dome that's been carved into the shape of like a bust.
We should proceed with caution.
Feel free to go on ahead. This is where I am. Head back to the statues.
Beautiful.
As Fennec sees the webs and starts going the other direction.
Balasar chooses not to make an issue of this, and instead just kind of nods his head at Bran and continues forward with him.
Great. Let's see. So Bran and Balasar advance towards the south as Fennec kind of retreats, seeing huge webs covering a small building.
Did we go into this little area yet?
No.
Alright.
The only one of those you went into is this one.
Okay.
Do you want to check that out while
Yeah,
there?
Fennec's actually gonna head there, and since that's still keeping his distance from the webbing.
Cool.
Fennec really hasn't been right ever since the spiders in that cave, has he?
This is long before that.
Oh.
So I'll describe what Fennec sees first. There is. It's basically like the other garden. It looks to be full of those same hallucinogenic plants, so you probably don't want to go too deep into it.
Okay.
There does seem to be some kind of message scrawled on the wall, the southern wall, kind of over the archway that leads into the other tunnel that you were in before, the flooded one.
Okay.
But you can't read it as it is in the ancient language of Omu, and you are not familiar, and you don't have Bran with you at the moment.
Okay.
Because at the moment, Bran is with Balasar approaching the webbed building, and you can indeed see every once in a while just kind of movement from within the webs of something large and many-legged. And if you make a perception check, you can see more. I'll go ahead and roll that for you if you like, Bran.
Yes, please, thank you.
Go ahead and roll it with advantage because obviously we're both looking. Unless it doesn't work that way. I don't know if
No,
you're going to
totally does. That's fine. We can do it that way. It's not a bad idea.
I don't know which one of us has the better roll though. Mine's at a +5, but I don't know. Branch.
Oh, yours is better. Maybe.
Yeah,
Bran should
I have a
assist.
+0.
Yeah,
What do you
I have a +5 wisdom modifier, and I also am skilled in perception.
Yeah, so you roll with advantage, Balasar.
All the good it did me.
Yeah, it happens. You can't quite make out where or what it is. I mean, obviously, you can guess that it's a very large spider, but you can't quite make out its precise location within the webs. You'll have to get closer to find out.
Well, could always try to draw it out with a little fire. What do you think?
That's not a bad idea.
Got some metal?
Balthazar actually goes into his pouch and pulls out a torch and a flint and steel.
Ah, perfect.
Not everything needs to be solved with magic. He lights up his torch and then begins heading towards the northern arm of those webs.
Yeah, I actually can't see if I have torches in my inventory, but that's definitely preferable to using a whole spell slot.
Yeah, good call there. I don't think you do, actually.
Man.
You have a lantern.
Oh, okay. Yeah, torch is the better idea.
Okay. Is Bran kind of hanging back, or is he walking up with Balasar?
Hanging back. I'm ready. I'm covering him. Right. If something comes out at him, I'll be ready to react to it. I'll have my weapon drawn.
You bet. Guess we'll have a mini combat here as Balasar approaches.
Balasar does have his shield at the ready.
Indeed.
Because obviously he's expecting this thing to come out.
I imagine you holding your mace in your shield arm, like pointed down, and your torch in your main hand.
Correct. Well, I have my shield. I have my shield equipped. My mace is actually on my belt. So, if this thing charges me, I'll be able to quickly drop my torch and pull my weapon.
That works too.
It leaps out of the webs in a sudden blur of movement. It is indeed a spider roughly the same size as a horse. You can't get a lot of details as it sinks its huge fangs into kind of the space where your armor parts to make room for your neck, kind of right around the collarbone. Let's see. Instantly, you can feel the poison beginning to course through you. Do you want to spend inspiration to reroll that saving throw or not?
Yes, please.
Whoa. Brutal.
Womp womp.
Well,
Off
that's
to a
going
good
to change.
start.
That'll change my action for this round.
Oh, damn.
Oh, it definitely will because oh, you're good actually. Well, you take additional damage. It's not great. But you are poisoned. Oh, you're not poisoned. It just deals the extra damage for now. Sorry, this is a complicated poison. So yeah, you can feel your limbs like trying to seize up and burning as the poison begins to pump through your veins. But for now, at least, you're still capable of movement. Bran actually goes next.
Okay.
You are currently 15 feet away
Are
from
spiders
the spider.
Right. Is this type of spider generally? It's not intelligent at all, right? It wouldn't be affected by something like Tasha's hideous laughter.
That seems unlikely.
Right. Okay. And he just got bitten, and I don't know. Any chance I could identify the spider and what kind of poison it would have? Just like, do I know off the top of my head? Have I heard about this?
Let's see.
Imagine that would be a nature check of some sort.
Well, you can use your bonus action to make a nature check. Do you want to do that?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I generally handle this situation.
Makes sense.
Because there are other classes. There are
really
class
do great.
features let you do this without taking an action, so I like to make it do something.
Gotcha.
All right. So yeah, well, first of all, you notice that this spider only has 7 legs, not 8, but you're pretty sure that's due to an injury of some kind.
Survived a combat. The spider's a veteran.
You think the poison isn't very dangerous unless it actually manages to knock you out in this kind of spider. It's like like a neurotoxin. So
Gotcha. Okay.
it can do permanent damage if enough of it gets into you, but on its own, it's, dangerous, but not immediately deadly.
Okay. I'm going to lunge at it and try to get a good stab in there and try to turn it into a defensive flourish if I can.
Cool. Yep.
All right. Yeah. Roll. Do me the honor of rolling, please.
Oh yeah, I got it. I'll
Awesome.
report back to you in a
Make sure
moment.
Cool. I just want to know the numbers too.
There you go.
You rolled a 12 plus 6 is 18, which is a hit.
All right. Yeah, we're doing the thing.
Cool. Defensive flourish. That adds to your AC, and you deal extra damage.
Yes.
Your bardic inspiration die is still d6s.
It
just
be
became a d8.
Nice. Excellent.
So actually, I'm just gonna roll 2d8 on that thing. Ciao.
Damn, son.
And you rolled a 7 on your bardic inspiration die, so your AC increases by 7 for the turn. That's pretty good.
Yep.
You also have the 10 feet of extra movement. Do you want to like move away from the spider after you dash in, or do you want to stay next to it?
No, I'm gonna stay next to it. I kind of want it to try to hit me.
Cool. Yeah, so Bran's wings flare out behind him, and he smashes forward, driving the tip of his rapier just into the kind of the soft spot where its thorax meets its abdomen. And then whipping it forth so that it gleams, his weapon gleams in the light and gives a twang noise as the released pressure on the steel lets go. It's quite inspiring.
I like it.
That's Balsar's turn.
Balsar growls at the bite and says, "I too have natural weapons," and he just lets forth a breath of cold all over it.
That's beautiful.
So it's Constitution save.
Yep. Yep, that's correct. And I believe the damage for that just went up for you, actually.
No,
Nope,
not until
6th
next
level.
level. 6th level. Yep. It's 2d6 at the moment.
Oh no.
Are you kidding me?
You rolled 2 ones.
Yeah, I saw that. That would be the only way 2d6 would ever equate to 2.
So you shoot out cold damage, but it's just like this little puff of frost that just kind of mists over one of its 8 beady eyes.
I think we just lost Bran.
It's okay. There he is
And
again.
he's back.
Anything else, Balsar? That is your action.
Yeah, I
Any
think.
of your cantrips or bonus actions. So
No, I think I'm going to healing word myself.
You cannot. Oh yeah, you can. Sorry,
Yeah,
that's
breath weapon is definitely not a spell.
No, it is not. Good call.
My spellcasting modifier, I think, just went up to +5 though, didn't it?
I don't think that affects healing word. I think it's just your. Oh, it is. Huh? It's not currently listed correctly.
It says 1d4 +2.
Yeah, it
Hold
should
on,
be a
let
lot
me-
more
let
than
me-
that.
Let me double check something real quick here.
No, I think it's just your wisdom modifier. That's all you get to it.
No,
Well,
it
that would still
says-
be a +4.
It says 1d4 equal to your 1d4 plus your spellcasting modifier. So I'll fix it here. 1 sec. Plus.
Fifth level. Oh, my proficiency goes to +3 at 5th level.
Yeah,
I'm
so
sorry.
it should be at 5. That's 5. Or plus, it should be 1d4 plus 7 then. Right? Because your wisdom's 18. Your wisdom's
my
15.
wisdom is 15
Sorry, I got
+2.
mixed up with another game. Okay,
Yeah.
so we'll just do that. Here we go, plus 5. There we go. I fixed it. I don't know why it's not doing that correctly. Quite weird. All right, there you go.
Oh, that's not what I meant to do. And I healed myself for 8. Should have dropped that on myself directly, but
It's okay. You can always do it after the fact, which I just did for you.
yeah, I appreciate that.
All right, so Balasar is able to knit together some of the bite wound and clear some of the poison from his veins, thanks to the holy power of Bahamut gleaming upon his shield. We go back to the spider's turn. Well, here, actually, let's...
Hopefully, it's more pissed at Bran now than it is me.
Oh, yes, most definitely. I think it whirls about, and then...
Well, I'm suddenly picturing Balasar attempting to use his breath weapon and then sneezing.
Nice.
That could have been so fucking epic.
That's how breath weapons go sometimes, even if
Yeah,
you're a
I
real
know.
dragon.
Last time I used one, I like nuked a room full of like 4 spiders, and it was amazing. This time it's like just puff of smoke.
Lots of little spiders, effective. One big spider, less effective.
Well, the problem is you had a really good line before the attack, so you were obviously going to roll like shit.
Yeah, it's only in Exalted that you can get away with really awesome lines and still doing really awesome things.
Despite the, that's why I usually like to describe my action after I roll.
Yeah.
Despite Brand's excellent flourishing of his fighting style, which would normally keep most enemies at bay, the kind of savage, simple mind of the giant 7-legged spider doesn't really seem to be distracted by the flashy gimmicks and manages to sink its fangs into the thigh of his leg.
Oh,
It rolled quite well.
sometimes they don't respond to feints and baits. They just action figure you. Just smack. I couldn't care less what you're doing.
You take 8 piercing damage and 9 poison damage. Or sorry, 5 piercing damage and 9. So a total of 14 damage. So you're at 15 damage total. So you're still at, less than half. Or more than half, I mean. So it hurts a bit, but mostly it just the fangs don't sink like all the way into your leg, thankfully. And you're able to resist the worst effects of the poison, but then it's your turn.
All right. I am going to I'm gonna just return the favor just so I stab him back. This one will be flourish doesn't last continually. I'm gonna just do a normal attack on him.
Cool. I mean, I think you get to decide whether you flourish after you roll, but yeah.
Oh, is that true? Okay, yeah. Then let me roll for the attack first, then I suppose.
Yeah, when you hit is when you decide. Or wait, no. Sorry, you're right. It's when you... How was that worded? Okay, it is when you attack. So, a normal attack it is.
Oh, okay. Well, how bad does it look?
It looks significantly messed up.
Okay, yeah. Regular attack.
Okay. You after it bites at Bran, he is able to lift up the blade once more, and then with much less flourish and much more practicality, kind of just sink it into like the area of the snake's or spider's body where the head meets the abdomen. And he doesn't behead it because, I mean, it's a rapier and it's a giant spider, but clearly he hits something vital, and the thing kind of just twitches for a few moments and then goes still.
Okay, and then I heal myself. I mean, I guess that's the instant combat. Well, the poison isn't still eating at me, right?
No. You just took some poison damage. You're not poisoned currently.
Okay.
Do you want to heal yourself in some way, or are you going to wait? I mean, are you going to cast
Yeah,
healing
let
word,
me
I guess?
Yeah, healing word. Use a second spell slot for it though,
Yep.
and that'll be all I do for now. I mean, I'm assuming we're going to be able to rest somewhat in the near future, and that'll be totally good for us.
That's your last second level spell slot. But you do heal 12 damage, so you're currently at 3 damage. 35.
Got it. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And you defeated. You are fairly certain there are not any more spiders of dangerous size or types in these webs.
All right. Check out the air. Check out the around the web. See if they caught anybody. Left anything.
Yeah, unfortunately, the bodies that you do find a few bodies, but you don't see anything that's of use. It's long since decayed away due to the rain and the exposure to the elements. The corpses inside are obviously cocooned and desiccated. They're a dwarf and a goblin.
Now that we're out of combat, by the way, I use protection from poison on myself, and then I turn to Bran. Were you bit?
I was. Doesn't hurt too much anymore though.
Well, let me make sure that it stays that way. Oh wait, that's a level 2 spell. Never mind. I can only do it once. Never mind. I use it on Bran instead of myself.
All right. What happens when you cast that on someone who's already been hit by poison?
It neutralizes the poison immediately and then gives you advantage on any saving throw against poison for an hour.
Yeah, it doesn't actually immediately do anything in this circumstance, but if anything else, because you guys aren't poisoned, you just took poison damage.
Yeah, I was gonna say when I did my little knowledge check, it was basically
Yeah.
you know, it's something where if it continues to bite you and administer the poison, it eventually becomes a problem. But initially, it's just a slight like nerve agent kind of thing.
Well, for the duration, the target has advantage on saving throws against being poisoned and has resistance to poison damage.
Yep.
That's still good though. Thank you.
And then I do take a moment to cure wounds on myself.
Excellent.
I'm gonna need a long rest after this.
I think we'll get it further soon. All right, so there's nothing in that area with the webbing, and that immediate threat is taken care of. Is there anywhere else that we need to sweep down to look at from here?
The only other place that you haven't really been are the other kind of like hallucinogenic plant gardens. If you wanted to look into them, Fennec's currently looking into one. I don't know what he's up to at the moment.
Okay, I was gonna say, I don't think hallucinogenic plants really count as evil, but.
And then to the southeast, kind of like on the opposite side of where you guys currently are, there is another one of those kind of ruined domes that may or may not. It doesn't have webs on it, and you don't see anything weird about it, but it may or may not have stuff in it. And those are the last two kind of locations that you haven't been to.
How many level 3 spell slots do I have? Do I just have one?
I believe so. Let me double check for you.
I started with 2, so.
Nope, you start with 2.
Nice. Okay.
What's Fennec been up to? Will they fight the spider? I mean, it didn't last very long. It was only like 12 seconds, so. You look down into the garden, see the stuff, and then kind of look back up.
Pretty
There's
much.
a giant dead spider.
Probably started making his way back towards Kawasha and the statues.
Excellent. You can make your way all the way back around fairly easily. Hux, you've assembled a significant amount of smashed barrels and crates and created a kind of fire outside of the dome, or a pile of firewood outside the dome.
Right. I wouldn't set it yet since there's no way they're nearby. After that, I'm going to. Hux is just gonna collect stuff for food. Go forage. As long as Kawasha is gonna stay and watch the statues.
Gladly, Quash and Kubilo will protect them.
Oh, and
it's not hard to find food in this garden. It is, after all, a garden. I mean, it's kind of fallen out of tending, but there's still all kinds of edible plants as well as beautiful ones growing all over the place.
Yeah, and we are currently, one person has to eat their own rations because of Steggy Boy. I was wondering about that. At least in the Volo's Guide to Monsters, it talked about how kobolds can basically eat almost anything that's not going to kill them, so including tree bark and eggshells. So if I eat tree bark and eggshells, can we get enough food for everyone?
Yeah, I'm okay with that. If you are willing to understand that Hux is eating just really terrible stuff.
Wouldn't be the first time. Would not be the first time.
Does it actually give you like caloric content? Like,
yeah, it does. It's just really empty calories that taste awful, but I still.
All right. Well, thank you for your sacrifice. Wow.
Unless there's any objection, I would like to take a long rest.
My tired body would very much appreciate that.
I am thoroughly taxed for one day.
Where are you all going to make camp?
Probably near the corpse of the Gorgon that we murdered.
Yeah, in the dome. Yeah.
At the fire.
When are you going to light the fire? These are my questions.
Did you light it where I put that box?
We built it, or they built it. They didn't light it yet.
Well, when we get back and basically say this house is clear, I suggest we go start the fire.
How far away is this mountain?
It was a couple days by boat, wasn't it?
The mountain is several days. The cliffs. Yeah, it was 2 days by boat.
So, I mean, by flight, it would still take them at minimum a day.
Probably.
Alright, so I guess make camp and in this room and after starting the fire.
Excellent.
Oh no, we're not going to start the fire yet. We're going to wait a day because it'll just draw things to us that aren't going to be things we want.
We won't stop the fire.
Let's see here.
For some reason, the sounds of Billy Joel are just riding on the wind.
That's life for you.
During the course of this long rest, I am going to switch up a spell. No, wait, no, I wouldn't. Not yet. Not until they get here, so I'll have to wait till my next long rest. I'm going to be swapping out sending because it's not something that I want to have all the time.
That's true.
I think that create food and water will be far more useful. It may not taste good, but it costs nothing and takes almost nothing to make.
Here we go.
My therapist told me to write letters to the people that I hate and then burn them. I did that, but now I don't know what to do with all these letters.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. So you make camp. It's fairly comfortable inside this little, fairly well made, the only really well maintained building in the gardens. It's a bit eerie, the statues of your allies kind of standing over you in the night, but
Yeah, before we would have gone to sleep, I would have set up like basically tripwires, trip string, I guess, across both sets of stairs, and just have bells on them. So if someone comes up, we will hopefully hear them.
excellent. I'd also ask, are you all removing the body of the Medusa from the room before you sleep? Or are you just kind of leaving it laying there on its chase lounge in the middle of the room?
It's in pieces, so probably it's
Yeah.
out there.
That's true.
Medusas don't regenerate, do they?
Not to your knowledge.
All right. Well, I don't know that I have a strong opinion one way or another on that one.
I mean, you want it out there. She's been basically hollowed out. Her torso's been hollowed out, so it'll smell like just awful if we don't move it.
And I mean, it would probably assuage any concerns that the Kir Sabal Aarakocra would have when they arrive to see a dead, Gorgon here. Essentially.
All right. You're able to rest peacefully through the night. Nothing disturbs you.
Huzzah.
In partway through the light, or most of the way through the night, you light the signal fire, kind of as dawn starts. And you don't actually have to wait long until an Aarakocra lands before you. Oh, also you identified that scroll, I assume.
Yes, and also, are you going to apply the long rest to it so it clears everything?
Yep. You bet I am. The scroll that you found is not spell scroll, because it's a scroll protection from undead. It's actually a relatively rare magical item.
Yeah, it
and
is.
You can look at the details of it now and what it does on your sheet. Anyone can technically use that scroll.
You said it's not a spell scroll?
No, it is a magical scroll, but it's not a spell scroll.
Huh. Okay, so the cost is anywhere between 501 and 5,000 gold pieces.
Yeah, that's how most magic items go.
Fascinating. I've not seen one of these since my training days.
The Aarakocra lands and bows kind of before where several of you are waiting at the entrance of the dome, between the signal fire and the dome itself, the pagoda. And it bows and holds out one scroll. It says, "This is all we have. Ashara sends her apologies."
No apologies are necessary. You made a great journey for us. Did you travel alone?
No. The others are patrolling.
Will you be able to carry one of our petrified back to Kir Sabal?
Seems to consider. That would be very risky. If we are attacked, we would likely have to let go.
Right, but leaving her here in a statuesque state is equally as risky.
If that is what you wish, we will attempt it.
Well,
But
were you
must
attacked on the
understand-
way here?
No, that is why we traveled at night. But it is, and you did destroy the Terrafolk at Firefinger.
Of course.
But there are still more, and other dangers in the skies besides. Gargoyles have become more active of late in the area as well.
Balasar turns to the rest of the group. We should return Shine to her previous state and send Azaka back with them.
I think it would be better we left Azaka here. There's no one I don't think has come here for a long time.
That's my thinking as well. Besides, actually, how does Azaka look right now? It looked like she was in the middle. She looks very clearly like a petrified person who was in the middle of doing something, not like someone like a statue, right?
That's true.
Okay.
I mean, she was fighting Salcore at the time, so.
And
Right,
Shine looks
right,
the
right.
same.
So yeah, someone could probably figure out if someone did come here and found her, they would figure out, or they'd have some idea that it was once a living person. Well, how many of you are there? Oh shoot, did I get disconnected? Oh,
No, you're here.
Oh.
Sorry. I was wondering who you were talking to at first. But then
Oh, I wanted to
realized
talk
you
to
were talking to
Eric
Eric Okra. Yeah.
I am, yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I wanted to ask how many of them there are.
we travel in groups of 7. So there are 6 others.
Well, I was thinking of going with you, but if there are already 7 of you, I don't know how much of a difference I would make by myself.
I would estimate it will take 3 of us at least to carry your friend, 4 to be safe. The other 3 will scout and form a perimeter.
Well,
Or
rest
we
of
can
them
leave
are-
them here.
well, the rest of them are going back to Kir Sabal, and well, how much easier of a task do you think it would be if I were to join you in the flight back to Kir Sabal with her? And I point to Azaka.
It will be. I mean, it adds another individual who can run interference if we are attacked.
And I'll kind of look to the rest.
I think
kind of
Kawasha will.
shrug.
Kawasha will speak up at this point and says, perhaps instead of having our new allies carry her, we should have our new large Stegosaurus friend carry her.
Oh
That
yes,
actually is a
there is a
brilliant
third
idea.
option, and I think I like that one better than the other 2.
How will the Stegosaurus get into the boat?
Well, we can travel overland to Kir Sabal. It is not so much further.
All right then.
Some of us can take the canoes and some of us can travel alongside the river.
I'm up for walking.
Or we can just load her into the boat once we get there. I don't think the Stegosaurus was ever The child of Upta was never going to fit into the boat with us. That was going to be a problem regardless.
If we can get her there, that works.
Is everybody good with this plan?
I am.
I think so, yeah.
I'm good with it.
Excellent. So since you have the Aarakocra with you overhead and any number of mitigating factors, I'm going to go ahead and kind of not do the navigation rolls to go back to the place you've already been.
Okay, is Balthar gonna like unpetrify Shine?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's important. Good call.
Yeah. Yeah, Balasar. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Also, you still have not yet applied the rest to the party.
Thanks.
But yeah, Balasar absolutely will perform the greater restoration.
Does that mean I'm good?
Slowly, as the scroll in Balasar's hands just crumbles with divine energy, the kind of tendrils of silverish light reach out from the hand that was holding the scroll and wrap around Shine. Slowly, the stone transmutes once more to fur and flesh and the clothing and equipment that she had. And Shine, you return once more. It seems no time has passed at all. A moment ago, you were fighting Zelkore, and now it's clearly a different time of day. Everyone is gathered around you. There's some Aarakocra here.
Shine shakes.
There's a
Goes, "All right,
mutilated
guys.
corpse.
Ready to rock and roll."
How do you feel, Shine?
Oh, and welcome back.
Where did I go?
After he completes the after he completes the spell from the scroll, Balasar turns to Fennec. Perhaps we should donate some of our findings to our friends for helping us out at great risk to themselves.
While he's talking about that, I'll turn to Shine. I'll say, well, she got her eyes on you, and it turned you to stone for just a little bit of time. Not too long, I assure you.
You've only lost a day, my dear.
Well, half of one, I'd say. But yes, that.
So we won. Cool.
Yes, the
Did she
creature.
have
Yes, and we get to keep the boat.
My boat. I look
Currently has a
around.
statue standing on it.
Statue of Asaka.
So is there any way we can get her healed up?
Moment.
We aren't able to. There was one scroll.
Oh, I see. I hug my little boat.
I mean, you know that you're able to fold it back up if you want, and the statue will just kind of be gently set down.
I continue hugging my boat.
Beautiful.
Then I return it to pocket size and just kind of like stick it in my backpack.
So, while that's
so are we
going
going to be able
on,
to carry her somewhere, or like, is there anything we can do for her?
Well, not immediately, but we're going to take her with us to Kir Sabal.
Okay, cool.
so
And I better be ready.
while that's going on, Fennec goes to kind of the leader of the Aarakocra that was there with us and hands him the the two opaque blue gems. Like, for your trouble for coming out here on for us.
The exiled queen has long haunted this place. It would be best if peace returned to it and the jungle reclaimed it. But the Aircoke does not turn down your offer. It takes the gem gratefully and kind of slips it away into a pocket of its simple robes.
Balasar doesn't say anything, but he definitely raises an eyebrow.
A beautiful gem, says the Aircoke. We will place it upon one of the shrines. It will bring greater strength to Chult, just as you have.
Fennec
It
gives
is-
him a little nod.
It is but a small token of our appreciation for all that you have risked to help save our friend.
Shine looks around. What happened to the crane guys?
That's a good question. Was there only one?
You only saw one.
There was only one.
But can there be only one?
There can be only one.
If you killed Zalcore, and you obviously did, the Iblis likely fled. They are, after all, cowards. They may return to here, but they will not be able to maintain it without her guidance.
That makes sense. So what's our next step?
Well, someone needs to start carrying Azaka over to Steggy Boy.
The
If at this
2 foot.
point, if at this point your intention is to return to Kir Sabal, I can montage the process. We don't have to laboriously
want
go
that
over every
montage.
step here.
Yeah.
Get in there. Get that montage going.
I mean, you're able to carry Azaka over to Steggy Boy and rig up some sort of harness, and Steggy Boy seems willing to go through this whole process. From there, you head out in the jungle. It's about a day's and a day and a half's travel. The Aarakocra sail overhead, likely often joined by Bran, helping you keep an eye out for trouble and avoiding it. Nonetheless, they don't actually see anything, and neither do you as you make your way up the river. Going upstream is a bit more difficult. Although, actually, I suppose you're in downstream now, while I look at it. So it's actually considerably easier going in this direction, which is handy. Steggy Boy walks alongside the river, carrying your petrified ally back to eventually reaching, after several days of travel, the clifftop monastery of Kir Sabal once more. Now, some of you have not been here. Let's see, it takes 3 days. Oh, no, 4 days. One sec. Some of you have not been to Kir Sabal. You can see that it's a ancient monastery overlooking the jungle from its perch on the cliff of a tall plateau. Stone steps and rickety walkways are connecting the various buildings. The lowest building is 500 feet above the ground. The main building has a circular maze-like symbol carved into its crumbling facade. Hux can recognize this as a holy symbol of Utao. Every
Interesting.
few moments, you can see bird folk either landing at the monastery or launching themselves from its balconies and taking to the sky. Here's some art, and here's a map. After you've unloaded Azaka's statue, the Aarakocra will then lift it up and carry it up to the monastery itself. Shortly thereafter, once freed of his burden, Stiggy Boy kind of nuzzles at Balasar and then gives like a sway of its tail and looks back towards the jungle.
Becky boy, no.
Um,
My eyes fill with tears as I pat Steggy boy on the
Balasar.
shoulder. He doesn't even acknowledge me.
Hey,
Balasar places his hand upon the creature's head. May Bahamut guide you. Obviously, he doesn't understand.
that seems likely, but it presses against your hand gently, so it certainly seems to enjoy the attention. Its back plates kind of stretch and bend, not bend, but like fold a bit so that they're like facing in opposite directions and kind of soaking up the sunlight for a moment. And its neck stretches outwards over you. And then it kind of turns and trundles off back into the jungle. But who knows? Perhaps one day Steggy Boy will return.
The return of Steggy boy.
When you need him most.
Our trusty steed.
The
The
once in
Steggy Boy.
future. The once in future Steggy Boy.
All right, so
So you are able to make your way up to the monastery once more. The steps are, it looks like they have actually, in your absence, put some effort into slightly reinforcing the steps, so it's not quite as brutal journey upward as you had before, now that they're expecting visitors.
That's good.
And they take you all the way up into the monastery itself, where once more you were able to meet with Ashara. Now, those of you who have not been here before, just to kind of briefly describe it, as you can see in the handout, it's kind of in platforms leading up vertically. There's many small buildings, and then there's the one larger building with the symbol of Utah on the outside. The Aarakocra are all dressed very simply. They wear prayer bead necklaces, and they have labyrinthine patterns painted on their beaks, hands, and feet. You pass through, like, to get into the monastery, you have to kind of, well, you don't have to, but you pass through several chambers that are clearly meant for prayer and cleansing. The first one has, let's see here, there we go, this is what I needed. I'm just double checking all my information quick. Okay. There's kind of a shrine area in the smaller cleansing building before the monastery itself, and it has a 5-foot tall wooden statue. The statue is clearly very old, so old that like it's made of, as I mentioned, it's made of wood, so it's been worn smooth, and you can't really tell what it was supposed to be a statue of, other than like a humanoid of some kind. And there are flowers and offerings of food placed at its feet. Who is anyone going through kind of the ritual cleansing? Again, it's not forced upon you or even really explained to you.
Of course,
I'll
Balthasar
go
does.
through it.
Belsar did it last time.
Yeah, Balthasar will do it again. He has absolutely nothing but respect for religious traditions.
What religion is this for again? Sorry, I was looking at something else.
It's okay. You don't actually know. There's a
Shine
symbol of
goes through
Ubtao on the
it.
outside, but it doesn't look like any sort of Ubtao worship you've ever seen before.
Shan's gonna go through it out of sheer curiosity. Maybe she'll see something cool and mystical.
Fennec will go through it again.
I mean, basically, just wash your face and sprinkle some gold dust onto your body.
You had her at gold dust. Then she really will be shining.
Then you're taken into the monastery itself, where once more you can meet with Ashara, or some of you can meet Ashara for the first time. The upper floor, so the monastery itself, the lower floor has a kind of a clearly what is a sort of meditation room. And there are 6 Aarakocra there kind of praying or meditating. And Hux, once again, you see on the floor of this room is the large circular labyrinth symbol of Ubtao.
Okay.
And they're kind of positioned around it. Although, again, it doesn't look like any sort of... It does not look familiar to you based on what you were taught previously.
I'll just watch it for a bit.
You don't have... I mean, you watch it as you pass by, but you are being led further into the building and up the stairs.
Oh, okay then.
And actually, you know what? She'll meet you in that room. So she's waiting there. Actually, there's the 6 kneeling monks kind of positioned around the circle, and then waiting on top of the balcony is Ashara. As you enter, she kind of steps onto the railing of the balcony and then spreads her wings and kind of glides down to land in the middle of the circle, sinking into a cross-legged seating position and nodding at you calmly. She looks like a older Aarakocra woman, with kind of dusky brown and white feathers, almost like a sparrow's feathers. Otherwise, she is dressed just like the others, though you can tell that they appear to give her more deference.
Maybe.
It is good to see you once more. I am glad that you were successful in your endeavor. I'm sorry about your friend, but I'm glad to see that you have acquired new individuals with which to explore life. You were successful in cleansing the evil. Your message mentioned you also retrieved the Black Orchid.
Indeed. The creature which protected it did exact a lasting price upon us.
Such is often the way of things. To gain, one must sacrifice. The question is, what is the appropriate sacrifice? Thankfully, in this case, we know the answer. Though it is not what we expected. Do you still wish to undergo the dance of the 7 winds?
I believe that, given all that we've gone through for it, it would be folly not to at this point.
I definitely want to experience this.
There are few things that will open your mind as greatly as flight. Sorry, were you going to say something, Shine?
Oh no, I just said Sean just said that she was in.
Cool.
Oh, what time of day is it?
So I suppose this would be in like the afternoonish. Somewhere between like noon and 5.
I do wish to experience the world as my ancestors once did.
All right. I shall arrange it.
Should we wait until tomorrow so we have a full day?
Not a bad idea. The ritual itself will only take about 10 minutes. Though I recommend you spend this evening making yourself as light as possible.
Do you mean actually light or metaphysically?
You're like
As in,
thinking steamy thoughts,
should we be removing unnecessary weight from our packs?
That depends. Does it weigh you down?
I carry no more than what is necessary.
I cannot tell you what to do. I can only tell you which way the wind blows. No one has a response to that, apparently.
I'm contemplating on the words. Like, visibly, Balasar appears to be deep in thought.
Shine's just confused.
Does anybody want to do anything in Kir Sabal or the monastery before the ritual in the morning?
Yes.
You can
I
kind of
want-
get very basic supplies here, but the monks and the other dwellers do not
Ooh, I want
own
to
a
sell
lot
off
of
my
things.
hide. See if they'll be into it and get some arrows.
Yeah, I was wondering if they had arrows as well.
Arrows they have, they're not terribly interested in buying your hide, I'm afraid.
That's so pretty.
I wish to commune with Bahamut and trade out sending for create food and water.
By all means.
In fact, actually, I may be changing out a couple other spells. So
Go for it.
Just notice, you ever need to. I can get food and water in almost any circumstance as long as there's food and water around.
all right, then I maybe won't do that.
It's true that Hux just seems to collect food and find game in the jungle as you guys have traveled through it without, like, while you're traveling. enough to feed all of you, I think, now that Staggy Boy's departed.
Okay.
Let's see. Nope, all I need is arrows.
Yeah. How much do individual arrows cost, I guess?
As long as you're not asking for an unreasonable amount, they won't charge you.
Really? Looks like I need 31 then. Or is that unreasonable?
No, that's not unreasonable. They can do that. And you just want 3 arrows back, Hux?
Right at 40.
Yeah.
It is so. They don't seem to mind sharing with you.
If they'd like, I can offer foodstuffs I've gotten.
For the record, they also don't seem to be bothered that you're a kobold, although...
Yeah, that's really weird.
Well, they don't... I should rephrase. They don't seem to be more bothered than they are by, like, the other... The Dragonborn, the Half-Orc, the Tabaxi, and the other Aarakocra who is not like them that you're traveling with.
That is weird, and I don't know what to do with that. I've been in another settlement now for 2 hours, and no one's thrown a rock at me. I'm not used to this kind of anarchy.
The Aarakocra here live very peaceful lives, and they seem to have a little ritual for basically everything that they do. You're able to kind of discern that these rituals aren't really associated with any particular deity. They've just kind of developed their own way of life here up on the cliffside since the fall of Chult. They all seem to have great respect for Ashara and look forward to seeing the results of the Dance of Seven Winds in the morning.
I have no particular thing I need to do after that.
Cool.
Oh, wow. I
He's
just
getting
read.
excited about morning spells.
Sorry, I just read the Beacon of Hope spell. That spell's ridiculous.
Yeah, that's a good one, to say the least.
Like, it was like, okay, for the duration, each target has advantage on wisdom saving throws and death saving throws, which is kind of cool. But then, and regains the maximum number of hit points possible from any healing. Okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
It is concentration, though, isn't it?
I believe so. That's
Concentration up to a minute.
Yeah.
Like, it can help in battle, but it's actually nice if people are beaten to shit after battle. Just cast that and then just do a few heals because you
Or
won't need any more.
Do that and then do prayer of healing.
Yeah, that too.
Although, I don't think you can do both, now that I think about it. But anyway. All right, so when the morning comes, you are kind of escorted up to the open balcony, to the room with the Ubtao floor and the symbol, and you can see the curtains have been drawn aside back behind you, and the open sky stands just beyond a small wooden platform. And it is looking to the west, so I guess it's not looking towards the sunrise. Well, it's looking towards the south, actually. But in any case, it's not looking towards the sunrise. But it's still quite lovely as the sun has partially come up and bathed the whole jungle, steaming jungle before you in kind of an orange-yellow hue. Ashar herself has completely decorated more or less every inch of her that you can see with these twisting labyrinthine patterns similar to the mosaic on the floor or on the outside of the building. There is a small table in the center of the circle, the labyrinth, and it appears to have a mortar and pestle on it. And that is all. There are several Eric over here, certainly not everyone in the village, but about a dozen. And they're all kind of kneeling along the sides, not around the circle this time, but kind of on the sides of the room, waiting for you to approach. When you're there, Ashara says, "Welcome. Have you brought the orchid?"
Who actually has that? I know someone has it. We did not leave it back at Nangalore.
Someone has it. I think I have an easy way to see who. It might be Bran. It is Bran. Bran has it. Bran will bring it forward. Ashara will take it and then set it inside the bowl of the mortar and pestle. The mortar, I suppose. Then she says, "Come closer. Sit within the circle, within the labyrinth. You need not close your eyes. You need not pray. This is not necessarily about what you do as much as it is about simply existing as we are meant to be." I assume you're all participating.
Yes.
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 Yes, I am.
And I'm also going to be noting, like, taking note of everything I see.
I'm not 100% sure what Bran does in the circumstances. He doesn't actually need to be able to fly since he already can. I think he probably kind of hangs back and observes. I'm just going to say that. Once you're all kind of seated on the floor, Ashara will take up the mortar and pestle and begin to grind the petals of the orchid not into a paste exactly, but kind of a part. And once they're fully kind of artificially masticated, she will stick the tip of her beak directly into the bowl and inhale deeply. Her pupils grow very wide as her eyelids kind of flutter for a moment. There's a hushed breath, and then she sets down the bowl and begins to dance. Her movements are often enhanced by the wings on her back as they flare out or redirect her movement in small and unexpected ways. For the next 10 minutes, you can feel the wind of her passing as she dances around the circle, around all of you, and chants various prayers in language I believe most of you are unfamiliar with, if not all. Let's see.
One minute would be 10 rounds, right?
Yes. Yeah, I guess no one speaks that language, which is fine.
I do not.
She's clearly saying kind of the same phrase over and over again. It's a chanted prayer. And after about 10 minutes has passed of this dancing and chanting, this whirling pattern of movement constantly shifting like winds across the jungle basin. She lands at the opposite side of the circle from where she started and holds out her hands. Slowly, the wings on her back fade out of existence, and you all feel lighter. A great weight is lifted off of you, a weight that you never even really realized was there. She says, "It is done. The sacrifice was sufficient. You've been blessed."
Oh my god, I have wings. Immediately starts like turning in a circle trying to find my wings.
You don't
have
see
wings.
any, but you kind of feel like they're there. Which is a strange feeling to suddenly have 2 more limbs that you never had before.
At least I'm used to it because I have a 5th. Like, it's like having a pair of tails on my shoulders. Like,
That's
it's
true.
very weird.
How
Sorry, go ahead.
I ask her, how long does this last?
You will have 3 days. On the dawn of the 4th day, you will lose the ability. Please keep this in mind. Try not to be in the air when it happens.
You have blessed us with a great boon.
It is not I who has given the blessing. I have only channeled it. And the source of the blessing is indeed irrelevant. What matters is what was passed through to come to this moment.
Shine is in the background, like jumping around like a moron, trying to get her wings to work.
I mean, after a couple jumps, she just kind of hangs in the air, and she can feel her wings beating, even though they're still not there. Yeah, you all have a fly speed of 30 feet now.
Sweet.
JP, did you not say that ritual cast spells don't need to be prepared?
No, ritual cast spells do still need to be prepared.
Gotcha.
They just don't need to be cast. They don't need to use up a spell slot.
Well, because I've had Prayer of Healing pretty much since we started, and I've never used it. So I'm thinking about ditching it.
It's for between fight healing. So it's up to you.
Yeah, I think I'm going to ditch. By the way, I traded out Sending for Bestow Curse.
Cool.
I can't remember. Do we have a rogue type for this that like can actively seek traps?
Yo.
Okay.
Actually, technically anyone can seek tracks. It's just an investigation check.
Right,
Yeah,
but rogues
or
are
perception sometimes.
let's say I thought rogues were especially talented at that.
No,
No.
what happens is you can have rogues. I think at 2nd level, and then next level at 6th level, you get to pick 2 abilities you have and double those proficiencies. So I don't have investigation double proficiency yet, but at 6th level, that's what I'm getting, along with thieves' tools.
Fantastic.
Now, originally your plan, just to remind you all, from here, although I suppose some of you aren't even aware of this, was to from here, now that you can fly, to fly across the jungle west to the floating earth moat known as the Heart of Ubtao, and to investigate what was happening there, and then try to get a view of the southern parts of the jungle and your continued journey to find the lost city of Omu and the Soulmonger, which is presumably somewhere within.
All right. Have I heard of it? Earthmound, Heart of Ubtao, or anything like that?
Oh, definitely. The kobolds do not go near it. They think that it is cursed. The Chultans think that it is blessed. They think it is literally the heart of Utau, so to speak. Well, maybe not literally, but like the heart of Chult, which is more or less the same as being the heart of Utau, or was once. Most of the Earth motes kind of fell out of the sky after the second sundering a few years ago. And those that remain are either in places of high natural kind of magical pervasiveness, or are being kind of maintained and powered to remain in the sky.
Sounds good. I'm ready to go. I think, what was her name again?
Ashara.
Ashara.
You have brought peace to a troubled mind. I only hope that you can find that same peace.
I say nothing in response.
Shine is up for whatever. Her merchant prince is going to want to hear about all of this.
Indeed, eventually.
Someday.
Flying, it should only take you a few days to reach the heart of Utau. I think 2. You can
Good.
travel 10 hexes per day now. More if you push yourself.
Okay, yeah, because they'll give us some of a day to actually explore the place before we have to get down somehow.
Oh, geez, it only takes you 1 day to get there, actually.
Even better.
But unfortunately, I think that is where we have to wrap up for tonight. Because I have to work shortly, and it's just kind of better than starting this next section.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
I know it was a much shorter game than usual, but I'm glad that we all got here eventually and that we can get back on track for next week. Now that we're all... And Sean was here for at least part of the game, and then he will not be traveling next week, so we should be good to go there. Does anybody have any conflicts for next week?
I should be
No?
good.
Cool. All right. So back on track. Got people unpetrified except for Azaka, which is convenient for me as a DM.
I'd imagine because Azaka was kind of unbalancing our CR pretty bad.
Well, except she couldn't hit anything.
That was just bad rolls on my part, though.
By the way, I also realized that when I attained 4th level, I was supposed to add an extra cantrip in. So I've added that in now, like known cantrips and known first
Makes
level
sense.
spells.
Also,
At 5th
a
level, I'm
bunch
supposed
of your
to have 4 of each,
cantrips
and then
should
I got my
upgrade,
bonus.
I believe. I believe your Ray of Frost does more damage now. I believe it does 2d8. Yep, it does. So I fixed that for you.
That's fine. So I've added in the cantrip of guidance, and then I've added in the first level spell Shield of Faith.
Cool.
Guidance is great.
Yeah, I love it. If I understand correctly, though, Shield of Faith, you can only concentrate on one spell at a time, correct?
That is correct.
I took a feat. I'm trying to remember if that makes any difference with that.
I don't think so. Warcaster?
Yeah.
Yeah, Warcaster doesn't help with that, but it does help. So when you get hit, every time you take damage when you're concentrating on a spell, you have to make a save. And Warcaster helps with that.
Oh, sweet. I also realized that if they provoke an opportunity attack, I can use my reaction to cast a spell.
That is true.
Nice. That means I can now opportunity attack a Ray of Frost at something.
Ooh, that's really nice in there. And if you're hit, they can only move not so far.
Yeah, that's quite handy indeed. Yeah, arcane clerics are pretty cool, actually.
Well, yeah, and I mean with the new lineup of spells here, I'm going to be a bit more useful in combat. I traded out Prayer of Healing for Hold Person, traded out Sending for Bestow Curse, and then I added Guidance and Shield of Faith to my earlier repertoire, which is kind of nice.
Magic Circle is pretty good. I haven't really looked at it before.
Yeah, Magic Circle is amazing, especially because you can reverse the effects. So, like, I mean, I could basically put someone in a prison or something in a prison that it couldn't escape.
All right. Does anybody need anything else from me? I'll leave the server up for a little while here, so you can futz around with your sheets or whatever if you like.
I think I'm good. Let me just
I
make
think
sure.
I'm good as well.
Excellent.
I was just gonna say, like, the only time that I should be gone is gonna be like at the very end of the month because I'm going to New Orleans.
Ooh, awesome.
It's gonna be so much fun.
So funny. One of my players in my other game was literally just there in one of
Nice.
my other games.
Alright, so as you heard, that's going to be it for the session tonight. Thanks everyone for tuning in. If you missed it anywhere earlier on, feel free to head over to the YouTube channel where the episode will be uploaded like all the previous ones later today or tomorrow. So thanks again for tuning in, and see you guys next week for the next D&D stream. Take care.